But why not? Hey, we're live. This Hangout on Air is live. They used to just have the little yellow button show up to tell me it was live. Now they put a blue thing saying it's going live, and then it changes the text. So sometimes it's hard for me to tell it's actually gone live because I'm old. Oh, take these off. I'm not that old. I don't need those.
I am.
Oh, you look good. You should have left those on.
I would, except these are for reading, and I can't read that screen because it's too far away if I have those off. I mean, I can. They're progressives, but it's easier to do it this way. At least for DTNS. There you go. Any more questions about my eyesight?
No, but I did see that for a few minutes you were ahead of me this month in running in miles.
Oh, yeah. That was a glorious day.
Just for a few moments.
Yeah. I enjoyed that minute or two before you're like...
Yeah, and then Swoopy...
Swoopy's always...
came in and swooped us out.
What are you guys using to track?
Nike running, yeah.
Oh.
I went running this morning, though. Wait a minute, am I ahead of Len now? Hold on.
Let me take a look.
I noticed Swoopy was still ahead of me, but I didn't see who was behind.
Oh, you might actually have beaten me now.
Competition.
Right?
I beat them last month by about 20 miles. Oh, you're like right on my heels.
If I just ran another half kilometer.
I'm in first place. That does not happen.
Yeah, you must have been Swoopy behind me? No.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
That can't be right.
Miles. It's crazy.
You guys are the only ones left of my friends who are still running, by the way.
I'm almost like I almost passed. It's so hot up here. I almost passed out the other day when I was running. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's too hot.
Yes.
I'll go inside. I'll go into the track.
Oh man. By the way, they have this new thing on Patreon now, which is awesome, where you can see people's exit surveys. And the biggest reason people say they cancel a Patreon is because of financial. Like, I just can't afford it right now, which is totally understandable. Second biggest reason on DTNS is usually time. I don't have enough time to listen. And I've got plans to fix that for people who don't have enough time. But today I got one that was like, is the show informational? Yes. Is it boring? Yes. So
that's nice.
I'm considering bringing in some clowns.
What is it?
Is that what?
Don't you know you can't please everyone?
Juggling? Maybe do juggling while I do the headlines?
Let me guess. Are you going to do the DTNS minute? The whole show in like a minute?
No, actually. But if you're a Patreon, you already know what the plan is. If you're a patron at the $5 a month level, look in your latest Patreon update.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody, so you must
It's pretty sweet being able to see that.
Yeah, no, the dashboard is one of the best things they've done.
Most of our ThreatWire ones left because Patreon got hacked last year. And I get that.
That would do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, thanks, guys.
I mean, they handled it well, but that audience, yeah, they're gonna be like, oh, out, see ya.
Exactly. And then I was like, I guess we should make T-shirts.
To fill the gap.
Yeah, exactly. Man, God. Sorry, I can't fix that.
BioCow has already submitted the title, Boring But Informational News of the Day.
Boring, yes. Oh, I guess I gotta get into
the... Informative? Yes. Boring? Yes. That is, make that our tagline.
Someone should make a little bumper for that.
Yeah. Yeah, one of our pre-rolls.
Yes. Informational? Hell yes.
This won't cause me to have a heart attack. Daily Tech News Show. Oh, well.
It's boring, but you'll learn something.
Now with more clowns.
Now with more clowns.
Hey, how do I get in on this Pod Rover thing? I want in.
Oh, I'll get you Cesar's email.
Please
I think you can just go to Pod Rover.
Yeah, it says you got to sign up and then wait for them to.
Yeah, sign up and send in your email, and then I'll email Cesar and be like, hey man, can you let Shannon in? She's awesome. He's pretty quick with them these days too.
Cool.
I didn't even say anything about Veronica, and we got Sword and Laser in there.
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe he watches it.
Maybe he watches Hack 5 and Tech Thing too. Whoa! Wow, we have actual breaking news. Crap. All right. Hold on 1 second. This just in. Tony Fadell stepping down from Nest.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Huh.
Okay. So we're going to have a little extra story there. Oops. Put it on the wrong day.
Hey, that's okay.
Really? You got to break news right now? You couldn't have stepped down, earlier when I had time to write? So inconsiderate of these people. All right. Let's get going then, shall we? Here we go.
The Daily Tech News Show.
Xiaomi.
The Daily.
I was bored.
Tom. The Daily. To support Tom, go to dailytechnewsshow.com/support. Okay, now you can press the button.
This is the Daily Tech News for Friday, June 3rd, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, Shannon Morse from Hack 5, Tech Thing, and more. Alongside, how are you, Shannon? Welcome back.
Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you freshly rested now from your trip across the world. You were
freshly hair purpled.
You have empurpled your hair. And we got some exciting news. We got some breaking news about Tony Fadell to talk about. We've got a really interesting article in Recode about the conversational web and how that may be our next phase of optimization. But Len Peralta is joining us as well to illustrate the show. How you doing, Len?
I'm doing well. Go Cavs. I am. We're going to take game 2. We are going to take game 2. We have to, because I have a wager with your wife, Eileen, on this.
I know. That's the basketball that Len is talking about. And my wife, although grew up a Lakers fan, apparently has a big soft spot for the Bay Area's Golden State Warriors.
You know what it is? It comes down to she really wants those chocolate-covered almonds again this year.
Yeah, they were good. Actually, we still have a few left. She made me stop eating them because I was eating them all, even though I had nothing to do with the bet.
Well, I'll do all I can so you don't get them. So.
All right. Well, we've got tech news to get to, so let's get started. This is a look at the headlines. The CEO of Google's home automation company Nest is leaving. He made the announcement in a blog post moments ago, at least within the past hour. He is going to remain as an advisor to Alphabet and CEO Larry Page. Marwan Fawaz, a former exec with Adelphia Charter and Motorola Mobility and chairman of Cable Labs, is going to step in as the new CEO of Nest. Remember, Nest is a company below Alphabet, separate from Google. Google, a company below Alphabet. So each one of those has a CEO, and Marwan Fawaz, a cable industry exec, is going to take over Nest. Fadell is most well known, of course, for having led the engineering team that developed the iPod before he left Apple to co-found Nest with Matt Rogers back in 2010. And Nest, of course, focuses on home devices like the thermostat and the smoke alarm and things like that. We saw this story breaking first on Engadget. Of course, it's a blog post from Tony Fadell as well, but I want to give them the hat tip for that because we saw it right before we started the show. Kind of crazy, Shannon.
Yeah, a little bit surprising and kind of random, but we see people step down from their positions at companies all the time. What this will mean for Nest is it really, we'll just have to give it time to see what happens.
Yeah, Cable Labs, Motorola Mobility Charter, Adelphia. I can see a home technology thread there, but I wonder if Alphabet plans to pivot Nest beyond just your home utilities into more home automation.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the thing that they were trying to do here.
Microsoft announced dedicated HoloLens AR apps for Outlook, email, and calendar. And people are really excited about this. It's kind of fun to watch. The apps mostly look like projections of the desktop version hanging in space in front of you. But there is a little holographic Seattle skyline in the image they posted online, so it can do some cool things. And the big thing that gets people excited is you can pin your email or your calendar to a wall, and then it'll just always be there when you need it, in augmented reality or mixed reality or whatever you want to call it.
That's awesome.
See?
See,
That's what
it's
I'm talking
really
about.
cool. I mean, I don't use Outlook, but that's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Can I get this for Gmail, please? Okay, thanks.
It's like, yeah, a wall calendar
Yeah.
for my favorite calendaring system that I could just have up. That's kind of
Like
cool.
the ones I used to buy at like Borders when I was a little teenager. I want that.
Yeah, except
in digital
with your
form.
Gcal or your iCal or your Outlook Cal or whatever Cal that you use.
As long as there's cat pictures on it, though. Just like back in the day.
My friend Catherine.
Yeah.
Samsung Pay came to Europe Friday, launching in Spain. Samsung Pay was previously available in South Korea, China, and the US, so this first time in Europe. At launch, Samsung Pay will be available on the Galaxy S6 and S7, with this year's Galaxy A5 being added to the system soon. The payment wars are just beginning. This is just the thin edge of the wedge. I mean, Apple Pay has been in Europe, but only in the UK, as far as I understand.
Kind of random thought, but I was on a layover in South Korea on my trip back to Japan last week, and I saw Samsung Pay at every single one of the vendors in the airport that I was in. It was very, very popular there, so I'm really happy that they're trying to populate this into more nations and countries.
Samsung also announced the Gear Fit 2 with standalone GPS, 4 gigabytes of music storage, Android notifications, and automatic activity tracking, like it knows when you're going for a run or it tracks your sleep, etc. The device has a curved 1.5-inch Super AMOLED display. Gear Fit 2 available for $179 for pre-order today, Friday, at Amazon, BestBuy.com, and Samsung.com, and coming to retail June 10th. It's kind of futuristic looking, I guess.
It's cute.
Yeah. Is it cute? Do you do a wearable, Shannon?
I use a Fitbit. I took it off because it's charging right now, but yeah, that's the one that I usually use.
So you're not going to get any step count for Daily Tech News Show?
No, unfortunately.
No.
I'm really stepping it up today, though.
You are. I was going to say. I was definitely going to identify that. Facebook announced it's shutting down its Notify app 7 months after launch. I'm probably the only person who was using it, but I was in fact using it. The app let you customize notifications about news, weather, sports, etc. from 70 different publications. Notify functionality, however, is not going away. Facebook says it will integrate it into other products like Facebook Messenger. Did you ever use this? Do you even know what it is?
I know what it is. Of course I know what it is. I listen to DTNS, but no, right. I never used it. I also don't use Messenger, and I don't use the Facebook app because, security concerns that I have with that application. So this doesn't affect me in the remotest bit.
I liked Notify because it was just a separate app from Facebook. So because I have Messenger because there are people who want to talk to me on it, but otherwise I'd never use it. Never use the Facebook app either. But Notify was nice because I could get breaking local news.
Right.
And so that was kind of a nifty thing to have like one single source that was pulling from multiple places that did a pretty good job of curating like, hey, this is something you actually need to know. So I'm kind of sad to see this go away. And the fact that it's in Messenger probably means I'll never try to take advantage of it now.
Right.
TechCrunch has sources who say Snapchat acquired 3D photo app maker Scene, that's S-E-E-N-E, a couple months ago. Scene lets you capture 3D models with a normal smartphone camera. Now, let that parse through your head for a minute. Like what Project Tango and the Connect do, Scene can do with whatever maybe not whatever, but with a more recent camera in your average smartphone. TechCrunch's sources say Snapchat wanted the computer vision technology from Scene, as well as the engineers. They didn't necessarily want the app itself. Snapchat could use it for lenses to give you some 3D objects appearing in those little lenses that you do on Snapchat. They could make photos 3D with it. Scene CTO Sam Hare specialized in real applications for the tech of gaming, and it could definitely be used to create content for VR. So I would expect to see lots of things come out of this on Snapchat, the very least of which is lenses, because Scene can do both. It can put real scanned objects into a virtual reality scene or into a picture, but it can also scan something and turn it into a 3D model as well.
It sounds really, really cool. I like the functionality, the technology behind this, but I worry a little bit with my limited knowledge about 3D rendering, how this will work decently on a smartphone with battery drain issues, with your limited cell phone capabilities that we currently have with cameras on here. They're definitely not as high tech as what you will get with a PC and their rendering capabilities that you can use for 3D. So I have some concerns, but hopefully they'll be able to answer those. Like, Snapchat currently has some of those issues with battery drain.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you're trying to add the 3D things on there. So I don't know. I'm a little skeptical.
That's a very fair question about the battery life. I have a feeling that the 3D rendering quality will be sort of like MP3, good enough that people will want to use it. I mean, I could see a world where people are scanning themselves in Snapchat in 3D and then going to their Snapchat VR application and using that to create their avatar or to put their dog into a virtual world. And then there's all kinds of things they could make.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah. Walmart and Sam's Club announced that both companies, both divisions, I guess, will test grocery delivery partnerships with Uber, Lyft, and continue a partnership with Deliv. Walmart launched a pilot program with Deliv in Miami in March for businesses, mostly with Sam's Club. The company will add Uber and Lyft in Denver and Phoenix this week, one in each market. The process will work like current curbside pickup, with delivery available for an extra charge of $7 to $10. Now, they don't charge for curbside pickup, and they're expanding that in lots of places, but this will say, well, if you want to pay a little more, which isn't the Walmart way, you can have an Uber or Lyft driver come pick it up. Walmart employees will just use the regular ride-hailing app to request a car to deliver the groceries. There'll be a way that the driver will know, okay, this is a Walmart delivery. TechCrunch notes that Walmart has been piloting its own delivery service in Denver and San Jose already, so doing this in Denver and Phoenix means they'll be competing with themselves in one market. But it is another interesting use of ride hailing as business to business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really cool. It seems like they're trying to compete a little bit with the grocery option that we have from Amazon currently. I forget what that one's called.
Amazon Fresh, I think.
Yeah,
is what they
Fresh,
call it.
I believe
and
it is.
There's Instacart.
But with the use of Walmart and Uber, it could be available in a lot more places than what the Amazon one is currently available in.
BizTech Africa reports that Kenyan M-Pesa customers will soon be able to use the mobile money service to withdraw money from Equity Bank ATMs. Amounts will be allowed between 200 Kenyan shillings up to 35,000 Kenyan shillings. That's equivalent of around $350 US, without the need of an ATM card, just their M-Pesa account on their phone. The ATM will send an authorization code to the phone, which they can then enter into the ATM along with their phone number to access the cash. M-Pesa is widely credited with having revolutionized banking in places like Kenya, because you didn't have to have a bank account. You just needed a phone, and you could do withdrawals and deposits at your local convenience type stores and places like that. So adding ATMs into the mix is a big step there.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Good for them.
Epson unveiled a new piezo force sensor based on its inkjet printer technology that allows robots to feel space with an accuracy of 5 microns. That's 10 times more sensitive than the current sensors out there on the market, and it could allow robots to do more precise tasks like putting a key in a keyhole, placing a capacitor with all its little spindly bits into an integrated circuit, or even light touch polishing, where you don't want to push too hard, but you want to get just enough to polish something up. All of those things are possible with complex software, but these new force sensors wouldn't need that expensive software. Epson's sensor does list at 6,500 euros, which is about a third of the price of an Epson robot itself, available after the Automatica fair in Munich at the end of June. But an easier way to do tiny jobs.
That sounds awesome. I would love to see robots doing this in action. I can't wait to see that kind of stuff happening.
I want to see them do like painting models, like Warhammer models.
Yes.
Force sensitive.
I'm obsessed with the whole capacitor idea of a robot actually being able to pinpoint that location accurately.
Yeah.
I would love to see that happen, and then it solder it correctly. Oh my gosh, so cool.
Yeah, the soldering actually becomes the easier part at that.
Yeah.
They could just have the iron, as long as they know how to tin correctly. They have the iron just be part of their hand.
They don't have to worry about fumes.
Yeah, this one caught my eye because I imagine there are other companies out there doing similar type of advancements, but using the inkjet printer technology as a way to add to robots. I think Epson has got something interesting here.
Oh, I love it.
Thanks to everybody who submitted stories. We could not do the show without your input, or at least it wouldn't be as good. And we appreciate the input that you give us. Head on over to get an extra look at technology at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. S1MON8, that's Simon 8. SP Sheridan, Steve I.O., Captain Kipper, Loki Robert, and more all submitted stories, and you can too, and you can very much vote on them. Please do. That helps us put the show together at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. That is a look at the headlines. All right, so Amazon announced today that they're up to 1,000 skills for the Alexa voice assistant. That's pretty much what they call apps, things that can work with Alexa, like the LifeX bulbs or your Google Calendar can work with Alexa. That's up from 130 in January, so developers are really going to town. Amazon says there are tens of thousands of developers working with the Alexa skills set. And then we also saw on Recode that Drupal creator Dries Boytert, and that will be the last time I attempt to butcher poor Dries's name, has a column on Recode called "Here's How the Web Gets Conversation Optimized." And the short version is, Shannon, he's saying a lot of folks are looking at conversational web, both voice assistants and chatbots, and saying that is going to replace the web. That we are no longer going to use the web, we're going to use these conversational assistants. He argues it's the opposite, that websites aren't going away any more than search engines made websites go away or mobile made websites go away. He says, look, we just optimized for search engines so we could make sure we got discovered. We optimized for mobile so that when someone was on a smaller screen, the website still looked good. He's like, we'll do the same thing. We just need to optimize websites for conversations so that the information you're delivering over the website is easily consumable in a conversational interface.
Yeah, we're currently seeing this happen with operating systems and with physical devices that we have. Smartphones, we have the Amazon Alexa in our households, but we haven't quite seen it with websites quite yet. With operating systems, for example, you can just speak to your Windows machine, and the Cortana, it will search for you. How well that search does is up for debate, but it will work, and it'll give you some decent information. For myself, I can see this happening with websites. If you go to a website and you need to search for a specific item, for example, if you're going to Amazon and you need to shop for something, if instead of typing it into your keyboard, you would just speak the thing instead. So you could say, like, okay, Amazon, search for, you know, hairnets or whatever it might be. I don't know. My mom's a lunch lady, so it makes sense to me. But that's the kind of implementation that I could see happening for it. Other than that, I'm unsure how we would use it on websites.
Yeah, that is one way you could use it on the website, but I think another way you could think about it is using the assistant and using the website to provide the information. For instance, the example that Dries gives is using Drupal 8, obviously, because he's co-creator or creator of it, to connect a grocery site to Amazon Echo. So what you do is you tag items. His example is, and they've created a demo that does this. You are able to ask Alexa what's on sale at the grocery store, and then you can ask her to notify you by text message when items do go on sale. If like bananas aren't on sale, he's like, let me know when bananas go on sale, got a discount. And all you'd have to do at the website is tag them appropriately so that you know what things are on sale. You don't, the person who runs the grocery store doesn't have to know anything about Drupal, doesn't have to do any coding, just goes into the interface and says, oh, these are on sale now, these are on sale. And then the Alexa API talks to Drupal 8 and is able to say, oh, well, these are on sale now. And it's optimizing the website, right? But it's not, you don't have to visit it in a typical browser.
From a couponer's perspective, I love that idea. I mean,
thought you might like that example. Yeah.
Yes, that's a great example. It's something that a lot of people would use. It's really consumer friendly, and it would also be friendly to the current workforce too, because they wouldn't have to learn anything, just like you said. And that is one of my concerns too, is how are web developers going to be able to implement this in the future? Will they have to learn a completely new code concept, or will they be able to use something like Drupal just to be able to implement it themselves? Will they have to go to a website like WordPress and have to install a certain plugin or a certain widget, and will they have to pay extra for this to happen? There's a lot of steps that are involved when it comes to web development to actually make these things work in a friendly way for our entire consumer market, as opposed to just a few people that have fast internet.
Yeah, and those are very similar questions that we had with mobile optimization as well. And I think that's the compelling part of this that Dries is saying is, yeah, we definitely have challenges to overcome, but we've done that before. Nobody questions mobile optimization of a website anymore. Of course you do it, and it's it's easy to do. It's now built in to WordPress as an example. Like it just automatically creates adaptive websites for you. Squarespace does the same thing. So he's defining the web as any user experience that's delivered across multiple channels and devices, which is a loose definition, but I think he's kind of pointing the way of, it is no longer a GeoCities page anymore to begin with, right? Websites are very dynamic, and this is just another way for them to be dynamic.
GeoCities. That was my love back in the day.
Yeah, dynamic back then just meant the under construction thing flashed.
Oh yes, the animated GIF or GIF, depending on who you are. Right. So another concern that I have is security. How are websites going to be implementing voice conversation in a way that is very secure and privacy oriented for the people that are visiting that site? Would it be always on, or are they going to be able to use a trigger word whenever you go to a site and be able to use that functionality?
Yeah, and especially if I'm a web developer and I decide, okay, I'm going to play in the Alexa universe, and I'm going to have an embedded Alexa thing on my website at some point in the future that people can use. Well, what happens to that data? Who has control over it? Because I'm going to get blamed if there's some misuse of that data, even though it's Amazon that may be misusing it because it was delivered through my site. So that is something that I think we're going to have to see even more transparency than we have now.
And currently we do have some transparency with Google and Amazon, correct?
Yeah, Google does the best as far as I can tell. Now, granted, my wife works for YouTube, which is Google, etc. But the reason I like it is that you can go into the Google Assistant, Google Voice and Audio Activity, we'll have a link in the show notes, and see everything you've done on the Google Voice Assistant and delete it piece by piece. One of the problems is if you delete these things, then the assistant doesn't learn as fast, because the more data it has, the better it gets at recognizing what you want. But Google says, well, that's fine. You don't have to keep every single thing here. If you don't want some of these more embarrassing searches in there, get rid of them. But you can also see this is what it's got. This is what it's recorded, and play them back, mind you, as well. Amazon does a similar thing. You can go into the Alexa app and play back what you said to Alexa. You can even correct it and say, no, she didn't hear me right, which kind of helps the feedback, and you can delete it as well. Amazon also lets you go and manage your devices page if you just want to get rid of everything from a device. Let's say you sell it or something. That might be a good way to do that. Siri and Cortana are a little less friendly. Siri, the only way you can get rid of the Siri searches is to turn it off on your device. And they even disassociate content from your ID and retain it for a period of time, which doesn't tell you anything. I assume anything that is retained would be retained for some period of time. So
see, the problem that I currently have with that functionality, and yes, I do use Google's voice conversational functionality, and I use Amazon's Alexa. Or, sorry guys, if you have.
Yeah, we keep tripping their echoes. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So voice biometrics. That's using biometrics of your vocal data and turning it into a pattern that can give you some kind of authentication for a website. If people are able to grab onto that voice biometric data and use it for authentication on some other website, you're kind of screwed. So I would like to see more companies be able to use this information to give us better consumer functionality, but at the same time protect our security and privacy, unless voice biometrics as authentication somehow goes away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a really good point. This is valuable data that you not only should be in control of, but that the company should guarantee that they are securing in a way that only you can get to it. And again, part of that has to do with two-factor authentication access and things like that. I think I may have skipped by this, but Cortana provides a way to clear recordings in the Cortana app. You can also do the Bing management to kind of get rid of things in bulk as well. Interestingly, from a blog post that Dries put up last year, this is the last point I want to hit on this. In the next 10 years, he says, we will all witness a transformation from a pull-based web to a push-based web. Now that sends me way back to Netscape was pushing this back in the like late 90s. Like, oh, it's going to be push, if you remember that. But Dries says, when this big reverse is complete, the web will disappear into the background, much like our electricity or water supply. We'll forget what www stood for.
Oh,
I know.
That makes me
Some
sad.
of us won't. Some of us will remember Tim Berners-Lee. Don't you worry. But I think Dries, as much as I want to make fun and go like, yeah, they've been telling me since Pointcast that we were going to get the push web, we may actually be in a position where it can finally happen now.
But I don't want it to happen.
Well, and it wouldn't necessarily eliminate the ability to pull, right? It's not a one or the other, but the dominant use might become, and I think he overstates it when we says we'll forget what www stood for.
We're already seeing some of that happen now with just with a search bar on our phones or with being able to voice communicate with your phones. We don't use a browser as much as we could right now. We get notifications whenever things pop up, and we can just reply in line with the notification as it is. Yeah. So actually having to go to that information as opposed to having it just come to you automatically, it's currently happening.
Yeah,
so
I've noticed it in podcasting too, where it used to be everybody knew you go to the website of the podcast and you get the podcast. Nobody does that anymore. I mean, very few people. They're like, why isn't your podcast in X app if it hasn't showed up there? And so it is becoming more of a push world. And Dries points out Facebook as an example of that. You don't go to people's profiles. You go to your newsfeed where things are pushed to you. Twitter's kind of the same way. It's pushed to you. So I will not forget what www stands for. Just gonna
Neither will I.
Yes. We'll make that pact, you and I. Our pick of the day comes from Trenton in sunny Murfreesboro, not Murfreesboro. There is a difference. Trenton says, I would like to see DTNS fans join the Spaces group. Remember, Google launched Spaces on iOS and Android. Right as he wrote us, which was about a week ago, there were less than 50 people. The app seems to make it really easy to share specific things in different ways or directly from the app. The app design is great, and I love the interface, says Trenton. Maybe it's just me, but I haven't found a Reddit app that makes me want to use Reddit, and I can't share to Reddit from Feedly. Spaces solves that, making it easy to share and encourage conversation. So you can go to get.google.com/spaces if you haven't downloaded it already, and then once you're in, Give Trenton a solid if you try this out and sign up for the DTNS page. I should do it too, actually.
This is cool.
I just realized I meant to do this before we put this as a pick, and then I didn't. I'm bad.
I think I'll join it too.
I won't join it right now because that'll make the show bad. But I promise, Trenton, by the time this is published, I will have joined Spaces. Send your picks to feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find more picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Bunch of messages today. Kevin said he was listening to episode 2774 when Scott Johnson and I were talking about the rise of messenger apps and voice assistants, as a matter of fact. Kevin says, I first noticed this a little over a year ago when some people would talk to their phones and listen to replies on the phone's speaker, not while in a phone conversation, but while using a messenger app like WhatsApp to send and receive voice messages. You could easily tell because they would look ridiculous when they engage in a conversation. When they were speaking, they'd hold the phone like you would as if you blow a kiss, but speaking into the mic, and then when listening, same as above, but have the phone speaker right next to your ear. Fast forward to today, and it's so commonplace, I don't even bat an eyelid anymore. You're right in your assumption that it's mainly the Chinese, Asian market that does this, because typing in the non-Roman alphabet is harder and slower than recording a voice message to reply back and forth. But I found myself doing it on an occasion where it was just easier to speak my reply rather than type it out. It also has the added bonus of getting the tone of the message across. I'm not ready to have the world listen in on my private conversations over speakerphone, but it seems for a large part of the Chinese population, maybe convenience trumps privacy?
I saw no one doing this in Japan at all. But the few times that I did it, when I was walking and trying to see where I was going and tell somebody my directions at the same time while walking around Lake Tokyo, I was doing it very commonly, and people didn't give me any kind of second look. So it must be pretty common.
Yeah.
But it does look weird.
Well, and all these things looked weird. Having a Kindle looked weird. I remember on the BART, and then suddenly everybody had Kindles. Having an iPhone, having a touchscreen phone was like an attention getter at one point. Not anymore. Everybody's got those. Al Balboa asked on our blog, is the Uber story about the Saudi Arabian investment a tech news story? In fact, is Uber really a tech company at this point? How are they different from, say, Domino's? You use their app, you order their service, they deliver, and they charge your credit card. Pizza or a ride. They both have to anticipate demand, plan their resources, keep overall expenses to a minimum, but I don't see anyone calling Domino's a tech company. And who knows, both may be utilizing autonomous vehicles before too long as well. And I think this is a great question, because I remember in the early days of the screensavers and call for help at Tech TV, we got to a point where we were like, look, just because somebody created a website doesn't make it a tech story, right? Back in those days.
Right.
We're getting to that point with apps. Like, well, wait a minute. Just because it has an app doesn't mean it's a tech company.
I think that we've been looking at it for the previous years as, where did they start? For a company, did they start with the app, or did they start with, making pizzas? For Domino's, they started with making pizzas and then started building the app. For
Sure.
Uber, they started with the application, and that was the brand of their business, was the application that allowed you to call cars. So I really do believe, like, it's where a company starts is what makes us consider them a tech company. But you're right, it's so commonplace nowadays. I mean, everybody's starting an app, everybody is building something.
Yeah.
So not everything necessarily has to be a major tech story these days.
I think, and I wrote this in a comment back to Al, the defense you could make for Uber is what you just said. You could also say that they are blazing a trail for workers' classification, the whole thing about, well, are they full-time employees, or are they contractors? That was not an issue before the internet and apps. So there's a tech spin to that. But I think the biggest thing that makes Uber still be a tech company to me is the fact that they are engaging directly in research and development to build self-driving cars. They hired basically all of Carnegie Mellon's researchers,
Right.
And they are doing direct research. They're not just waiting to buy something from somebody else. So in that respect, Domino's, I don't think, is funding direct research on any kind of technology. So that would be the clearest reason that Uber, I think, still qualifies as a tech company. But it's a great point to say, like, hey man, just having an app doesn't make you a tech company anymore.
Do I have to do a disclaimer here and say that I used to work for Domino's and manage one of their stores?
Yeah, I think you should. I'm glad you did that. That's
Man.
good. Whew, we avoided a conflict of interest. I have to disclose that I used to work for Pizza Hut too. So there you go.
Didn't everybody?
Rich from lovely Cleveland says, Tom Shannon and fellow Clevelander Len, the talk of Apple releasing a monitor with an external GPU built in reminded me of this DIY solution AnandTech covered a few years ago. It's pretty hacked together, but it is possible to have a full desktop GPU over Thunderbolt 2. There are a number of caveats. It's expensive, $300 on top of the graphics card that you have to buy. Thunderbolt throttles the performance anywhere from 10 to 30%, and it only works with an external display. But assuming Apple's pricing is in line with their cinema displays, aka crazy expensive, and the GPU will probably not be refreshed as fast as most gamers would like, this might be something to check out as a DIY alternative.
Ooh, I like.
Yeah, and then Rich also said, if someone would like me to test this, please feel free to send me all the required supplies and I'll give it a go, including the GPU on top of it. We'll have a link to that in the show notes too, but it's a pretty cool project. A couple more here. Russell said, on yesterday's show, you and Justin were discussing Twitter relative to other social media and messaging platforms. We use Twitter for business and find it to be the most engaging B2B social media platform. We've read that it is the top social media platform for business, which I think you mentioned as well. While the platform is not really aggressively evolving as others, it pretty much works very well as it stands. Tech business growth targets are generally pretty high relative to other businesses, and maybe Twitter needs to adjust those targets and focus on strengthening what they have that people seem to like and use. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I could agree with them. I use Twitter a lot for business. That's where I get most of my stuff done, and that's where I meet, and I introduce myself to a lot of other people working in the same genre as I do.
And then I was comparing Twitter, Yahoo, and Snapchat. We were kind of putting them on a timeline. And then, of course, the news came out from the New York Post today that apparently Twitter discussed a merger with Yahoo. It's not going to happen, according to the New York Post sources. They walked away without agreeing to pursue the deal. But that was crazy coincidence.
Crazy.
And finally, from Gadget Chaser, the first DMV DTNS listeners meetup. For those of you in California or other places with the Department of Motor Vehicles, this means Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, not Department of Motor Vehicles. The first Delaware, Maryland, Virginia DTNS listeners meetup, food, beverages, making new friends, is going to be Saturday, June 10th, 2016 at 1 p.m. UTC. O'Sullivan's Irish Pub and Restaurant in Clarendon, Arlington, Virginia. There's a link to where that is that we'll put in the show notes as well. Gadget Chaser says he's working on an announcement for the subreddit later tonight, so keep an eye out for that as well. We also had another person who's looking for a Captain Crunch whistle because he wants to use it to teach his students, like one of the ones from the 60s. The
oh my
Captain
gosh,
Crunch,
good luck
the hacker.
with that.
Yeah. I found one on eBay for like $200.
Yeah.
Which is way more expensive than a teacher in Virginia could use. But if anybody knows about that, keep an eye out because I told him to post in the subreddit as well, which he has done. And I don't know, maybe he can go hang out because he's in Richmond, Virginia, maybe he could make it over to the Washington, D.C. meetup in Arlington.
I'm pretty sure that Saturday is the 11th. So Gadget Chaser might want to check that.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure he's talking about the 11th.
He put UTC, which is good, which makes me wonder, is it really 1 p.m. at the 11th? Anyway, look for the subreddit. We'll clarify this in a bit. Thank you, Shannon Morris, for joining us. As always, what you got cooking?
Thank you. Let's see. On Hack 5, we pretty much wrapped up our drone build. It was super, super fun, and we got to flying. So we have been discussing how to fly and understanding what kind of different drones there are. So if you're interested in building your own drone and learning what kind of concepts you need to understand and the theory behind flying drones, definitely check out our newest episodes at hak5.org. And on Tech Thing, since I just got back from Japan, I spent 2 weeks over there, and a lot of it was focusing on what kind of technology they use. So it was really fun to go a little bit in depth with what kind of Japanese technology I saw and what kind of technology I used when I was going overseas. And then, of course, Hack 5's up for a podcast award, along with a lot of our friends. So if you're if you're a Diamond Club member, hat.t2t2.eu is where you can find out all the information, and you can vote for us along with all of our podcasting buddies. So thank you, everybody who's voting.
Yay! Thanks, T2T2 and everybody else in chat room.
Thank you, Tom.
Together. Oh, my pleasure. Len Peralta has been making a drawing that I think incorporates your new hair color.
It does. It does. It's a picture of Shannon. And, here's the thing. I really enjoyed hearing about conversation optimization. I was reading about it. I think that is the way that technology is going to be going in the future for sure. But, at this moment right now, Friday the 2nd of 2016, this is what it would be like to talk to the Internet. Obviously, it would be a phone with the Chewbacca lady on it, a Chewbacca lady phone. And, all the great things that you would expect to hear on the Internet, like yes, and spoiler alert, and on Fleek, and Kardashian, and YOLO Bro, and FML, and okay, thanks, bye. So, that's what I would expect it to be like. The image itself, of course, is of Shannon, who, gets a little bit feisty on this one, saying, shut the hell up already. I don't even know if he'd really talk like that, but
you got the color tone of my purple hair just perfectly. You know that the Chewbacca lady needs a mask to make the chewy noise, but I can actually make that noise on my own.
Can you do that right now? Here we go.
Yes, I can.
That's ridiculous.
That's wonderful. Oh my gosh, that's even better. That has me laughing.
That's America's Got Talent level right there.
So this image, of course, always as always available on my online store, lenperaltastore.com. You can also back me at patreon.com/Len, back at the DTNS lover level, and you get this and many other of my images, actually all of them, as a high-res digital file. And also, I just want to also remind people, dads and grads, it's that time of year again, and the online store, of course, is a great way to hire a professional artist and bring him into your home. Not actually physically bring him into a home, but my art.
I'll make you spaghetti.
Yes, I'll make you spaghetti. I'll go to do that, and so that's a great. My art makes a great gift, so you may want to think about that as you were trying to come up with something very interesting for this very, very busy gift-giving time of year. So there you go.
Excellent. By the way, this just in, Tinvek points out, if you want to vote for the podcast awards, you can also go to hat.t2t2.eu, meaning the emoji hat.
What?
T2t2.eu.
That's amazing.
As Tinvek says, because T2T2 is badass like that. Actual emoji in the URL. Thanks to everybody who supports the show. If you're willing to keep us going, if you like what we do, all we ask is that, maybe kick us $1 a month or so. If you can do more, great. We have lots of people who do. We have some perks for those who do, up to a Slack channel for the analysts that we're always in, kicking around ideas with each other for. Go to dailytechnewsshow.com/support for all the ways to support the show, or straight to patreon.com/DTNS. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can give us a call, 512-59-DAILY. That's 512-593-2459. Catch the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv. Visit our website at dailytechnewsshow.com. Back on Monday with Veronica Belmont. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Good show.
Yay!
Eric approves.
Yay! Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, your Chewbacca was the pièce de résistance.
I haven't done that in a while. I'm glad it came out correctly.
Yeah, well, I know how that goes when you're like, okay, I used to be able to do it. You nailed it. That was good.
I did that once for Peter Mayhew at a fan expo in Toronto.
Oh yeah,
and
what did he do?
He laughed. He was like, "Wow, that was really good."
Man,
I was like, "Yes, the man himself approves."
That's pretty cool.
So, showbot.tv, if you want to vote on our titles, we've got a bunch over there if you're watching live. Right now, leading the way is Boring But Informational News of the Day, or DTNS Now with More Clowns. I'm not going to use either one of those, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Boring But Informational News of the Day.
That's us!
Oh, wow.
My co-host used to work for Domino's. He's pretty good.
I saw that one too.
We can flip that one and make a Pizza Hut. It works both ways.
Oh man.
Farewell to Fadell was pretty
remember.
nice. She seems to have a mechanical touch.
That's a Genesis, man.
I know. I got that stuck in my head now. Thanks a lot, Dark Redeemer.
Mechanical touch, yeah.
Can you believe it?
Fadell leaves the nest. That's a good one.
Fadell leaves the nest is pretty good, yeah.
I like that one.
All right, let's go with that.
Fadell leaves the nest. That's a good one.
I went to copy it, and it's like, you've already voted for this.
Sit down.
It's very good with the making sure you don't slam the thing. All right.
All right.
Where do you vote?
Showbot.tv.
Oh, okay.
I will always disclose my Pizza Hut conflict of interest from now on.
I'll do this. I will. Can I plug something? We're not recording anymore, right?
T2T2's like, there's a copy mode. Oh, there is. I just didn't see it. Thanks, man. Good. That will stop me from having to do that. Well done. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Len?
Oh, I was going to say we're not recording anymore, right?
No, we are. Well, we are live.
We're live.
And
so yeah. So I wasn't going to do this during.
That records on the YouTube.
Yes, I wasn't going to do this during the show, but if anybody is interested in Mystery Science Theater 3000, you go to Kickstarter, search Renfest.
Oh yeah.
Last 6 days of the campaign, we're in the hole a lot, but Maybe in the last few seconds here, something may happen. But I mean, I don't know. We're
Tell your
at almost
friends.
73,000. Yeah. So if you go to search Renfest, if you're a fan of Freaks and Geeks, Mystery Science Theater 3000, those guys are making a show about Renaissance fairs. It's called Renfest. So check it out. We got 6 more days left to go.
Yeah, I think if you come on, if you like Freaks and Geeks and or Mystery Science Theater or both,
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I
Seriously.
love those guys.
yeah, you got to back it.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, you should probably do it in the next couple days.
That's a magic combination.
It's really cool. And you can actually, if you back, you get to see the 10-minute mini pilot,
Nice.
which is pretty cool. So yeah, it's very, very cool. Very
I'm
fun.
actually got tickets to go to one of those Fathom Events theaters to watch the MST3K reunion.
Oh yes, yes, that's coming up at the end of this month.
Yeah,
Should be very interesting for sure.
I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be fun. Well,
Oh,
are they?
man.
I haven't looked into what they're doing because I don't want to be spoiled. So maybe I shouldn't ask you because you might know.
What's that?
I'm wondering if they're going to have any of the new forthcoming people involved.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if I know that or not.
no. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't.
Uh,
That's good actually because I now believe that you don't know if you know.
yeah, I don't know if I know that or not.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and full disclosure on this Renfest, I am the campaign manager on it. So I do love the campaign. I also am sort of trying to keep it afloat here. So. And it's
I feel like you. I imagine you running around with a clipboard.
Yeah, it's been like that for sure for the past month. It's been really cool though. I would love this anyway if I were as a Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan, and it's been really really cool to be able to work with these guys on kind of a professional level like this. It's just
Where do I go? Is it Kickstarter.com?
yeah, or you just go to renfestivity.com.
Oh, renfestivity.com.
Yeah, you can go there, or just go to Kickstarter and search Renfest. But yeah, it's been I still am a card-carrying member of Mystery Science Theater 3000. So
You still have your card?
I somewhere I do, and I know my number. I know my MST number somewhere. It's
Somebody just backed it. Thank you. Good job.
That's awesome. Very
Let's
cool.
get all Jerry Lewis telethon on this.
Yeah, let's do
Tiffany.
it. Let's do it. Yeah, it's been really cool. These guys are excellent, and the live show is going to be really really great. And yeah, it's fun. It's cool. It's a fun little project.
Here, I'll show the renfestivity.com. There.
Yeah, there we are. Yeah, we got a long way to go for sure, but who knows? Maybe a last minute surge of people might be able to make this thing happen.
Those are
Going into the
funny
weekend,
people.
going into a beautiful weekend, coming off a holiday weekend too. Whew. I'm gonna.
What do you got going on this weekend, Shannon?
I'm still trying to figure out my sleep patterns, so I'm going to sleep a lot and wear my PJs and watch Netflix, and
Yeah.
that's cool.
I'm a little
Nice.
jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
I have no plans. Oh, and I have to pick up a bridesmaid dress. Yay.
Always a bridesmaid because you already were a bride.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's true. I'm a matron of honor.
Matron? Yeah, I guess it is matron.
I don't like that word, matron.
No, that's not fun.
I feel old.
If anyone's wondering where Roger is today, he is driving to LA.
What?
Yeah, he's looking for they're making a move.
Oh
So
yeah.
so he's driving down here to do some house hunting this weekend. So that's what I'll be doing.
Wow.
I'll be hanging out with Roger.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool. Fun.
Wow.
For me,
Roger.
He's coming from
from
where-
San Francisco.
San Francisco. Okay.
Him and the wife and the Ellie,
And the little baby.
the baby Ellie, which
Oh,
I think
that's
she's
gonna
old
be-
enough that she won't be crying the whole way like she was the last time they made this.
How old? She's almost a year.
She's more than a year. Yeah,
She's more than a year.
yeah, she's past a
Okay.
year now.
That's kind of hit or miss. You don't
Yeah.
know.
She won't be crying in the same way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm thinking is like they might have a better time keeping her entertained now.
Oh, possibly. You just never know.
Yeah, you don't.
Youngins, you just never know.
Oh my gosh. Len, I love Tech Boutique, the one with Amber Mack.
Oh, thanks.
That is so cute.
Yeah, I like that one too. That didn't get that much attention, unfortunately, but
Really?
there's some really cool ones.
I'm shocked. That one's
Adorable.
I know there's some really cool ones. The last couple have been a little bit slow, but so I'm like, oh man, I must good job. It's hard to come up with these ideas sometimes, but
It's the summer lull, maybe.
it might be. It might be. The Amber Mac one was really fun though.
Yeah, it's cute.
They're all at lenperaltastore.com, folks, if you want to go look back.
Yeah, by the way, just so you know, I've done 111 of these drawings for the show.
Wow.
That's one
Something like that. Yeah, over 100. Yeah,
that's
over
crazy.
100. I know. Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
It's actually closer to it's not 111, but I've done over 100 for sure.
You could sell a book.
I know. That's something I gotta figure out how to do.
Yeah.
You know, like
I mean, that you just need to hire somebody to do a layout for you, and then you could self-publish it.
This is really, yeah, it's fun to look back at these too. There's so many funny ones. Darren finds his way into a lot of these.
Well, yeah, because he's usually the one here on Fridays. So.
Yeah, I love that. It's funny.
Darren has like a poster wall in his office of all the different ones.
Yeah, I know.
So
cool. Yeah, that Amber Mac one was a lot of fun.
I haven't gotten a frame for it yet, but I have no addresses. I got that one up in a frame next to my Sailor Moon and my cats, and then I have my.
Oh yes, I love that one.
Me too. It's so cute. It's adorable.
That's like one of my favorite like recent ones that I did. I'm like, and so when I was gonna draw you today, I'm like, oh man, should I draw Shannon? Because that one, the last one I did was just like it was like the quintessential Shannon drawing. So I was like,
I could never top myself.
I know, I can't, I gotta, So I wanted to do something a little bit different. So
I love it.
See, I need to get frames. I have the Order 66 Rule 41 one up there, but it's not framed. I need frames.
Yeah,
I know it's not hard. It's just time consuming. Even if
Yeah.
you get someone else to do it, you got to take it there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gotta go to Michael's or Hobby Lobby.
We don't have a lot of those. There's a lot of framing stores around me, though. I can't complain about that, even if it's not Michael's. Hobby Lobby.
All right, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do this weekend. I'm trying to figure out if I should even make dinner. There's not anybody here.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, it's too much spaghetti on a hot summer day, though. It doesn't really work.
Do a light spaghetti made of salad.
I might go out.
Yeah, just go out, man.
We
Treat
found a
yourself.
really great barbecue joint here in town. I
Oh,
went to
that
that
sounds
last
good.
night.
Yeah.
We went there last night, and then there's a great fried chicken place too. So.
Eileen was out of town in Los Angeles the other night. I'll explain that one in a moment. And so I just went to Mitsuo Marketplace because I'm like, I can. Just
Is that
go.
the place you took me when I was out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
Got myself some tendon, whitefish. So good.
Ooh, that sounds
That's
good.
really good.
Does that sound good?
Makes me hungry.
And some sushi.
But yeah, no, they had an offsite for YouTube in downtown LA, and it's so far traffic wise that they went ahead and paid for hotel rooms for people that work in LA.
Wow.
Because that was more convenient than having to have people drive all the way to downtown LA. Like people would be late. So she was gone to Los Angeles from Los Angeles. And then she was supposed to stay last night, and she showed up at like 1 a.m. She's like, I just figured it was better to come now while there isn't traffic at 1 a.m. than it was to like get up in the morning and try to drive home. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. All right. Well, that is it for our show this week. Thank you all for joining us. You guys are the best. We love you, and we will see you on Monday.
Right on. Bye.
Yay.